Hey guys, it's just no one here. So I recently came across the camping mod, and it's either relatively new or it just flew under the radar because this mod is honestly amazing. It's a PC mod that's been ported over to PS4, so it's gonna have some quirks to it. It's not perfect, but I would still rate it like a 9 out of 10 at the end of the day. It's pretty good. It's probably the best camping mod I've came across. And I've looked at camping mods before. It's why I'm thinking it must be new or it just must have flew under the radar. So I'm gonna show you guys all about this camping mod. Like this video is all about this one mod in particular. Because there's quite a bit. So let's get into it. But right at the start of the game, you will get 3 powers. Ignore all these. The ones we're paying attention to is instincts, options, campfire, and resourcefulness. These 3 abilities come with this camping mod, and we're going to go over what they do and everything in a minute. First up, we're actually going to go over these options in campfire because there's a lot. I might as well just get that out of the way actually. So it's going to be kind of quick. I'm just going to try to explain it as quickly as I can. But it's pretty easy, and it even gives you like a quick tutorial rundown by explaining to you exactly how everything works. And it explains it quite well. So you get to control all of the features of like your, for instance, we're in camping, so gear intense player. This basically is going to remove pieces of your armor and weapons, and it actually will give you options to change what you want, like to be taken off as you sit or sleep in your bedroll, because they'll actually have an animation for that and everything. Like it goes so in depth, it's so immersive. It's insane. Going over all of it, this video would probably be really long. I hope it's not going to be long, but it probably will be. Gear intense followers. Your followers will also remove their like weapons and shield and armor and everything too. So you can even do it for your followers because they can actually interact. It's follower interaction here. Up to 3, they will actually interact in like the spare bedrolls and campfires and tents. Be good with the multiple follower system mod actually. Sounds like it'd be perfect for it. Build your own campsite and also be immersed with all your follower gang. It'd be pretty dope actually. Now this is where some more like crazy in-depth stuff happens in this mod. I'm just amazed by. So camping legality. This literally is like you get charged with trespassing if you build like in a village or in a house like of somebody's home, or just in a place you're not allowed to, be on, can't squat on, trespassing. And that is pretty wild to me that they actually thought this and put this in, like made this happen in PS4. And yeah, they will actually, get mad. It gives you like a red indicator too to kind of tell you like, hey, and it also gives you a prompt like this to say like, hey, you're placing this illegally, right? Do it at your own risk type deal. So it's really good about that, but it's just funny that you can actually do that. But this whole options thing that we're going over is all about disabling options or enabling what you wish, which is always cool when a mod allows you to change things to your liking. So you can make this camping mod pretty much however you really want it. Like if there's certain parts about it you don't like, turn it off. Certain parts you would rather have on, turn on. Simple as that with these options. It's pretty nice. And equipment can burn. This was interesting with more realism, like uh, a torch. You can hit your stuff with a torch, a flame spout, or a shout, and the fire will actually burn your stuff. And you can even put it out with a frost spell before it completely burns your stuff and save it in time. It's like, this is wild. I can't believe this is an option. Like, this is crazy. Campfire building. So if you're really going for hardcore realism, then it's already on realistic, and realistic is going to be what I'm going to show you. Because the other way, the quick way, is pretty much just, yeah, have the proper stuff to do it, and it will just place it down for you. You don't gotta go through gathering these, different materials and doing the animations and everything. But if you really want to be more realistic, and it's kind of more immersive, and it's not like particularly hard, it's just a little bit more steps. But yeah, that's again an option that you can choose whether or not you want. It's just, you have the freedom to decide. And that's all for the options for camping. Now we're on tents. So configure which pieces of gear will appear when sitting or sleeping on your bedroll. Okay, yeah. So this is where you can choose all of the stuff that you want to be placed whenever you're sitting or sleeping in your bedroll. Like I was saying earlier, it gives you the option. And that's tents. Your instincts. This is a power that you actually be able to use. So you'll be able to hear creatures, which will allow you to see them through walls and everything. It's pretty cool. Like, it's basically the detect life is all, but you only see them when they're moving. But you're supposed to be hearing them, I guess. The smell dead. That will allow you to smell dead bodies and the undead. So similar thing as like detecting dead life, but you can now find your corpses that you're like from your hunts and stuff, and of course Draugr and shit like that you'll be able to also see. So that's pretty cool, I guess. It's crazy, all the options and all the things that this does. Sense objective. This one's the only one that I think is disabled from the get-go, but you can turn it on. It basically works like the clairvoyance spell. That's all it is, but you can just choose to do it pretty much as you want, I guess. Sound effect. This just lets you turn off the sound effect if you don't like the starting of the instinct power. That's just allow you to turn it off. There's also a visual effect. It's just more options, just a bunch of options of stuff that maybe isn't even necessary. Advanced placement. This will change up how the placing for your camp objects are, but it's not bad the way it is currently, so I would try it just the regular way first, and then if it really for some reason isn't working for you, maybe try this out. But I feel like it's fine the way it is. Didn't see any problem with the way it was working. Max threads. If I understand this correctly, I think we are actually how many like things we can place down, I think. And that's pretty much what this is about. Like, you can only have 20 currently, and you can use up to 30. But performance, I think, can go down if you use too much, kind of situation. But I honestly don't think you'll be using more than like 20 things in your campsite, really. Track followers. This actually is not what you would think it would be by the name. It's making your followers stay near campfires and stuff, so they'll actually use, the beds and campfires and things like that. Keeps them to it, I guess. And then the camping skill. So this is interesting. You actually have a little perk tree, and it's not in your actual skill tree, so don't waste your time looking there. You actually open it up at the campfire, which we'll see later, and it does have its own little perk tree. It takes a second for it to pop up, and you'll level up your campfire skill. But you can also kind of cheat, I realized. You can go over here and just add a bunch of perks and just take them. So you can kind of cheat that, but you can also take away all these perks and restart, I guess, kind of like legendary. And yeah, that is, I think, it. But yeah, it gives you a help options to give you an idea better. If you don't understand how I'm talking about it, then try that. And it even gives you like a tutorial mode kind of situation whenever you go about it. It'll probably pop up for me, I'd say. So yeah, that's all the options. So it's a lot there, but it's nice to be able to pick and choose what you want. So anyway, let's go ahead and get into that campfire, shall we? That's what we've been waiting on. I've been putting that off and talking about other things when I've been saying I'm going to show you a campfire. So in resourcefulness, normally you're going to have to harvest some wood. I actually am going to need a woodcutter axe because I need a woodcutter's axe to harvest chopped dead wood, which I actually made an axe. I forgot about that. We'll have to show you that, which is really cool. My little axe right here. It's kind of a little small and not very fast for how small it is. The woodcutter's axe actually is faster, but it does a little bit more damage than the woodcutter's axe, and this will also allow you to chop dead wood in our resourcefulness option for harvesting dead wood. But you can also gather branches. They're not, of course, as good as dead wood, but they're also kind of useful and part of the campfire process. Alright, let's build our campfire. So right now it's asking me if I want the quick version or the realistic version. Pretty sure. Let's go realistic. Alright, here it is. So basically, if it's blue, you can place it down. If it's red, you can't. And you'll notice how it's kind of moving around like this. It doesn't move with my camera, but rather my character. See what I mean? So if you're wanting it to face in a certain direction, make your character face in said direction. See how it also goes a certain feet away from me there too. So like if I want to get it, not stuck into the wall there, I want to move it over. See how I'm doing it? It's pretty easy. This is definitely the best camping mod I've seen as far as being able to place things down. It also levels itself out to the terrain as best it can too, which is really cool. And we will place it here. It's going to ask you, do you want to place it here? Do you want to cancel in case you accidentally press the button? Get confirmation. And there you go. And this campfire part right here actually costs you nothing to make. Just the little rocks, going around here. This is free. Just putting that out there. But now, we gotta use it. But you also have the option to sit, which is pretty cool. Again, pretty immersive. We can, of course, destroy it. This is the skills menu, which has to be lit for us to use, which we have to start it. So see, here's it. It's asking if I want the tutorial. I will say okay just to explain away the tutorial real quick. Campfires are created by combining three things: fuel, tinder, and a spark. Select build fire, add fuel. You can use branches, kindling, or ruined books as starting fuel. Pretty cool. You can use like ruined books and stuff. So alright, we have wood and we have miscellaneous. So you can see in wood we have build fire, add fuel books, like it said, and the build fire, add fuel branches, which is pretty much the easiest, I guess, to get, because you can just do that in the options. And then build fire, add fuel kindling. Down here we can see different types of kindling. We have firewood, which is the ones you actually chop, and the dead wood, which you can just use the option for. And then we have paper that can also be used for it, as well as branch. So we're going to start our fire by adding a couple branches in the wood section here. Build fire, add fuel branches. Next, select build fire, add tinder. Tinder is used to catch a spark in order to ignite your fuel. Many different items can be used as tinder. Each tinder recipe shows the quality, or each add tinder recipe, sorry, shows the quality of the tinder. The higher the quality, the faster your campfire can be lit. The tinder you choose is what determines how long it takes you to light your fire. So now you can see you can use all kinds of interesting little things as your tinder too, which was kind of interesting to me. You got beehives, canis root, dwarven oil, hanging moss, linen wrap, mora, tapenilla, paper rolls, tundra cotton, and wood shavings. You also might notice that it says, you know, poor quality, good quality, fair quality, excellent quality, all that. And it also says, you know, easier or harder, or different levels of challenging difficulty to light under current weather conditions. So even the fucking weather conditions affects, like, what tinder you can use. Like, this is crazy. The level of detail in this mod is just insane. This camping mod is doing way more than just a camping mod, but I fucking love it. I actually picked up some Mora Tapenella, so let's go ahead and use one of those for our tinder. Now here's another just how, oh my god, these people were like, they put so much work into this mod, it's incredible. I'm sorry I'm just glazing this mod, I know, but okay, we have the ability to light our fire by the old-fashioned, you know, hitting it with some stone and flint until it ignites. And this will increase your camping skill. But you also have the ability, if you have 20 destruction or higher, and of course you have a flame spell more than likely unless you have a mod that takes it off, but you can actually light the fire with your destruction spell and it will increase your destruction. I have not seen the destruction version and I feel like that's the coolest, so let's go ahead and see that. Okay, maybe not as exciting as I thought it'd be, but it's still pretty cool. You have created a fragile fire that will last for 1 hour, in-game hour that is. Well done. You can now add more fuel to increase the warmth and duration of your campfire. Select flickering, crackling, or roaring campfire recipes to view the required materials. Larger campfires can be used to cook food and grant bonuses. And there we are. We've completed the tutorial and starting our own fire in the realistic option way. So now we have the option to go to the flickering, which just requires a little bit more kindling, branches, or books. And now we have the crackling and replenish fuel option. So like this is the pretty much I guess the real smallest fire you can have. The other one is kind of not really useful. You can't cook or anything, I believe, with that one. This one you can actually cook with now. As you notice, food has popped up. So you can just cook meat here. But this could be useful in survival mode. Yeah, you can replenish your fuel with books, kindling, and branches. And we have regular firewood or the dead wood option to always increase our fire to like a higher level fire. And you'll see it get bigger there. So here we go to crackling. And we need more firewood for it, or dead wood. So we'll probably just get dead wood because it's easier. Now we're going to do the roaring campfire, the biggest campfire you can have. Go ahead and replenish the fuel. And yeah, now we have ourselves a nice big old campfire. We can use it to cook our food, we can sit by it, put it out, destroy it, and now we also can look at our skills. And something I also forgot to mention is when we collect dead wood or branches, it actually does tell you that it will take 30 minutes in-game time during that whole little blackout. So that's something to take note of. You will be passing some time. And as you can see there, it says 11 hours and 55 minutes remaining. That is how long in-game my fire will actually last before it goes out. And I can increase that by putting more firewood and, kindling and stuff like that on it. But let's look at our campfire skills, shall we? I'm not going to bother with the tutorial because it literally just explains exactly what we're about to see. This one's just really, it's simple. I will show you how to do this. So first you see this red glow bug right here. And now you see it finally loaded in the perk tree above the campfire. The glow bug is just here for you to exit. And you just access these perk things just like you kind of would in your perk tree, except you just look at it instead. See it changing the name, and when you click on them, it'll bring up this menu here, tell you the rankings, how many perks you have to increase, and even your perk progress, so you know when you're going to level up and get another perk. And it tells you what the perk does, for instance, too. And of course it gets higher and higher as the ranking goes up. So your first perk here is light campfire 7 seconds faster in all weather conditions when using strike stone. See, there was a perk basically helping the weather condition problem we were talking about earlier. Next one is additional 10 stamina when using a walking stick. Which, yeah, we'll actually have to show you the walking stick. Pretty cool too. I actually kind of dig it. 25% chance of gathering one extra branch or piece of dead wood for each one harvested. Lit campfires last 25% longer. Detect items and creatures 50% farther, determine if creatures are hostile, and move while sneaking without cancelling the effect when using instincts. Skill bonuses from large campfires last 50% longer. Alright. You can also walk away and the skill tree and everything will disappear. But they give you the button. And that prompt right up there, the fire leaves you feeling inspired. When you walk away from it, that will happen, and the benefit of that is all skills improve 5% faster for 6 hours. So it's basically kind of like a rested bonus or something, But if it stacks, then hell yeah. So back to our resourcefulness tab. We need to look at create items. So this is where I built my stone hatchet, where we build the walking stick, and there is arrows we can technically make, stone arrows, but this is part of the problem. The things that don't work in this mod, the only real problems that I've encountered with this mod is things like this. Invisible arrows, and maybe a funky texture, or just, yeah, literally no texture at all. It's invisible. It is kind of funny though with the arrows, at least, because it's invisible arrows. It's pretty funny actually. I was more amused than I thought I'd be shooting invisible arrows for some reason. Then you can also make your own longbow. So basically you can make your own like axe weapon and bow and arrows technically. They just don't show up unfortunately. So you might as well just make regular arrows. And we also have a walking stick. I'll have to get some more dead wood. But yeah, we'll make our walking stick. The bow would actually take me a little bit more time because I actually have to find some hide or like an animal or something, or make a tanning rack, which I apparently can't do. There's also new things like fur plate that we'll go over too. Hide lace and fur plate is something completely unique to this mod, but it's still it's basically just your like tanning, but instead of the regular names they changed them basically. But yeah, you gotta do it this way in order to make certain things. Your walking stick actually counts as armor because it's a shield. Like, it works like a shield. So see, I got my stone hatchet out and my walking stick. You can see here I got my blocking animation. And you can bash with it. And it does give you a little bit of armor. I think it's just just a measly 11 armor, but it also increases your stamina by 10 points, I should say. I dig the stick because it's got a little Nord amulet here and everything. Like, I feel like this is honestly like a good Nord stick. Like a shaman or something, like a crazy hermit out in the woods or something would have this. Alright, so we got our campfire up, that's all well and good, but we don't got a tent, we don't got a bed. It's kind of a problem. So we're going to build a tanning rack first to get started here. They'll be in your miscellaneous and you just go down, equip them, and then they pop up like the campfire did. Just gotta find a place to put them. We need to go on the tanning rack. Now see, it's talking about fur plate, hide lace. Here's some more things that unfortunately do not show up, or this might show up, but it's probably gonna look off, I'm imagining. So just, yeah, don't really have high hopes for these. They're either not gonna show up at all or they might look funky. But again, that's like the few issues with this mod, is just certain items not showing up or maybe having a texture that looks kind of wonky. So that's a small price to pay compared to how good this mod is with literally everything else, and how in-depth it is and the control it gives you of it. So we have miscellaneous here where we can look at our tents. You got like different bedrolls, and once you build one large tent and bedroll, you'll have the ability to build more beds, and each time you build a new bed, like with it, you have more beds you can keep adding. And this is because we talked about having more followers to like interact in your camp. You have some backpacks that may or may not show up weird, but I don't know, the tent has some things looking weird in the menu there, like with the black sleeping bags and stuff, but they don't appear to be, like, they didn't have any weird glitching or effects whenever I put them down before, so maybe the black part doesn't really mean it's not gonna show up right. But the invisible ones where nothing shows up at all, yeah, it's gonna be invisible. Oh, we have our leather and leather strips, which is just normal. So we need to make enough to be able to have our tent. Which means we need to make some fur plate, and quite a bit of it look like. Alright, so we finally have enough to make our small fur tent and bedroll. And as I told you, once you make the first one here, it now has the version with 2 bedrolls. This does not mean that you're actually going to have to spend all the materials again, as it says small fur tent and bedroll down there. You just have to have 2 extra leather to make the extra bed. That's it. It's really all you're using. So go ahead and just do that just for example. We can make another one. Oh wait, no. No, don't do that, because that actually would take away one of your bedrolls. So it looks like you might only be able to have up to 2, at least in one tent. But this is a small tent, mind you. This isn't a large tent. Okay, it's bigger than I thought it was gonna be. Alright, we place it down. It's slowly gonna load in here, just give it a second. Alright. I think that is everything. Something also, I guess, kind of odd, as you notice, this stuff doesn't have a collision. Oh, okay, the lantern does. But the tent and the fire doesn't actually have a collision. And, oh yeah, the tanning rack has collision. You just notice some objects might not have collision to them. So you can sit, and as you heard that noise and everything, and you should actually, I don't know where the arrows went, but you can see my bow is actually placed down there. If you click on your bedroll in this, it gives you the get up option, of course, but you have use light, which can also be used if you're standing up, which actually turns on your lantern. See? It's pretty cool. Toggle view. Okay, I guess the toggle view is to get rid of your tent so you can actually like see in your tent a little bit better. Yeah. Seems to be what it does, more or less. So I can actually see in here. And then of course we can get up. And all my stuff went right on. Didn't even have to do any of that myself. We can lie down and just chill. Now we're just chilling out here. In this mode, we're able to actually sleep, and it'll bring us to our little rest thing here. Just sleep for an hour. Wake and feeling rested, and your camping perk progress increased. Which of course, making a fire in our camp increased our progress as well. Apparently we need to change our view back though. So we'll go ahead and get up. And of course you can just go straight into sleep if you wanted, instead of actually lying down. And that's pretty much it for your tent and your bed and everything. Oh, you have your little stick out here too. I like that. So I mean, this is pretty much all you really need. I mean, you have your way to cook your food and you have your way to sleep. I'm not sure if this actually works with survival mode. Yeah, I just tested it. It does not work with survival mode, so that's also unfortunate. But I will be making a video about making my own survival mode. Well, I guess this video's gone on long enough, and I feel like I've showed off this mod enough that it definitely should pique somebody's interest, surely. If you really want to give this mod a try, here it is. Campfire complete camping system. I of course go over, everything for you in this video. I mean, pretty much everything I could see, I did a lot of testing myself, and yeah, I pretty much show you what to expect going in. It automatically puts it up here at the top like this in the load order. It tells you that's normal. And with that, I hope you guys find the mod. Hope you enjoy it. Until next time, guys.